Is your or your client's brain and nervous system stuck in high alert danger mode that perpetuates chronic pain, dis-ease, life chaos, and/or is preventing success in achieving goals? If so, then this video is for you. Welcome to this week's vlog, 20 habits that stress the brain out, putting it in high alert mode and fueling complex PTSD and stress hormone addiction. I'm Jennifer Ellis-Schutz, functional health practitioner and transformational coach with a Master's of Science degree in counseling and psychology, avid self-healer, CEO of Wellness Code Academy, and you're watching the Wellness Code Academy channel, where my collaborating business partner Sarah and I chat about innovative, dynamic ways to support holistic healing, wellness, life optimization, and holistic healer business success.
And I'm Sarah Korzeniewski, known as the organic dietitian in the online world. Also a chronic health challenges warrior and Jen's partner in the Wellness Code Academy. If you find value in our videos, and we surely hope you do, be sure to subscribe by clicking on the red subscribe button below and hitting the bell next to it to be notified when new videos are released.
To begin, what exactly is complex PTSD? Complex PTSD is a condition that develops as a result of stress that accumulates and anchors in the nervous system and throughout the body at the cellular level as a result of repeated exposure to experiences that one perceives, be it consciously or unconsciously, to be threatening and or overwhelming, and where one feels powerless to flee, defend themselves, or change the circumstances, as well as often feeling unsupported, invalidated, misunderstood, and dismissed by those they turn to for help. In fact, the lack of support and empathy around the experiences, as well as lack of resolution and closure, are most often more damaging than the experiences themselves and are often the main drivers for this life-altering condition to develop. The stress that accumulates and anchors within the nervous system impairs its ability to regulate appropriately. And because the nervous system is the master regulator of the body-mind system, a chronic state of dysregulation is unsustainable and ultimately creates widespread physiological and psychological chaos. Furthermore, there is exponentially growing amounts of research, especially in the field of psychoneuroimmunology, that provides evidence that complex PTSD primes the body for not only the development of chronic and deadly disease, but also as a primary factor that prevents interventional strategies aimed at healing physiology, such as running labs, supplements, detox protocols, and more from being effective. In fact, two hallmark characteristics of complex PTSD are, number one, trying many interventional strategies to heal over a long period of time with little to no success in achieving sustainable wellness. And number two, being so sensitive that one is not able to tolerate healing interventions well, if at all. The longer the nervous system dysregulation goes on without resolve, the more of a neural program it becomes, the more issues build up within the tissues, and the more sensitized the entire system gets to future stressors, sometimes to the point where daily living becomes overwhelming, creating distress and chaos in all aspects of one's life, such as in relationships, social life, career, and more.
In the case of chronic PTSD, the brain, which is the epicenter of the nervous system, gets stuck in alarm mode, continuously sending danger signals throughout the whole body with the message of, hey, we have an incoming threat. Prepare to fight, flee, freeze, or fawn. And which fawn, if you're not familiar, is a fear-based response that causes one to go into people-pleasing mode to avoid disapproval or rejection. In the case of true threats and crisis, such as protecting oneself against an intruder or a hungry grizzly bear, this alarm mechanism is necessary and life-saving. When the stressor is resolved and safety is established, the nervous system returns to a state of homeostasis or balance. Without this capacity to mount an intense stress response, mankind wouldn't be here. Chronic activation of it, however, is health and life wrecking, as it leads to repeated and in some cases continuous inappropriate spikes of stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline for long periods of time. As Jen mentioned earlier, the longer the nervous system dysregulation goes on without resolve, as is a hallmark feature of chronic PTSD, the more of a neural program it becomes in the brain. And as this happens, it becomes one's baseline mode for how they function in daily life and show up in the world in general. In other words, one gets used to it. They know it well. It feels comfortable. Humans are creatures of habit. We go to what we know, even if it causes immense suffering and challenges in our lives. Bad habits are addictive, both physiologically and psychologically. They leave us craving more and more of whatever reward or comfort they are providing. When we go without them, our minds and bodies yearn for them and seek out ways to get the need for another hit of this comfort being met. And just like any other addiction to a harmful habit, this is how stress hormone addiction forms.
In the case of stress hormone addiction, the mind-body system has become habituated to a high alert, high stress state and seeks to engage in activities to support this state. As a result, peaceful experiences will often feel foreign and uncomfortable. The system, especially the brain, will resist them. For this reason, engaging in mindfulness exercises, breath work, meditative practices, or other neural rewiring exercises aimed at quieting the mind and calming the body will feel really uncomfortable for those suffering from stress-related health issues, burnout syndrome, and complex PTSD. The discomfort will likely run on a spectrum from screw this is bullshit and will not help me, gotta get back to my coffee, social media, scrolling or busyness, to this doesn't feel good, but I'm going to stick with it because I know that I need it, and everything else in between. The more one resists taking necessary steps to calm the system, break free from stress hormone addiction, and heal underlying emotional wounds fueling complex PTSD, the more one will stay stuck in a vicious cycle of chronic pain, illness, and life chaos. And a first step in recovery is taking an honest self-assessment of life patterns and daily habits that perpetuate this cycle and begin making incremental changes in the spirit of reducing stress and increasing energy levels that the body so desperately needs to heal.
Here's a list of 20 patterns and daily habits that keep the brain in high alert mode and stand in the way of healing and life success. This list is by no means exhaustive, but it's a great place to get you started and to help you bring more awareness, which is an important first step in making positive changes. And my guess is that after hearing this list, you'll be able to identify many more areas. Number 1, disordered breathing patterns, which the breath is a primary homeostatic control switch to the nervous system. In other words, how we breathe tells the nervous system if we are safe or in danger. Number 2, excessive engagement with tech-related alerts that constantly distract us and break our focus. Number 3, excessive social media engagement and or checking of email that tend to fuel the underlying belief that we need to be connected and available at all times, as well as leading to information overload. Number 4, engaging with triggering posts and arguments on social media that spirals us into states of high emotional charge. Number 5, complaining and circle talk about problems versus focusing on solutions, keeping in mind that what we focus on grows bigger. Number 6, reading and watching fear-based news that ramps up any underlying fear trapped within the body. Number 7, procrastination that can lead to worry and overwhelm about what's not getting done and piling up on our plates. Number 8, poor time management and living daily life in rushed states leading to more overwhelm. Number 9, worst case scenario or all or nothing thinking, which is often driven by underlying perfectionism. Number 10, weak boundaries, such as saying yes when you really want to say no out of fear of displeasing others. Number 11, overcommitting and constant busyness that doesn't allow the mind or body to rest deeply enough or for long enough periods of time. Number 12, going to bed too late and or sleeping in too late, which throws off our circadian rhythm signaling, which a broken circadian clock is a leading factor in mitochondrial dysfunction. Number 13, excessive screen time that exposes us to unhealthy levels of light flicker and disconnects us from real life. Number 14, task or endeavor jumping with lack of or limited follow-through, which tends to fuel low self-worth. Number 15, eating foods that fuels inflammation and blood sugar dysregulation, which, by the way, are primary physiological triggers of nervous system dysregulation. Number 16, multitasking, which, contrary to popular belief, our brains are not designed for, and doing so causes us to burn through energy quicker and actually be less productive. Number 17, blue light exposure after sunset. Number 18, lack of natural sunlight, especially in the morning. Number 19, lack of movement throughout the day, which these three together are significant disruptors to our circadian rhythm signaling, and a broken circadian clock is a primary factor in mitochondrial dysfunction. And finally, number 20, ruminating on past hurtful events that we have no power to change. This is an example of arguing with reality, which is futile, exhausting, and it fuels anger, resentment, and despair. In closing, if you're stuck in high alert mode and engaging in any of these habits or others that you identify, we're confident that if you take consistent action, no matter how small, to start shifting them or encourage your clients to do so, one will be well on their way to creating the internal and external environments needed for healing to happen. This said, helping clients navigate the role that trauma has played in their lives and work with them in a beyond the biochemical, whole person-based capacity has made all the difference in empowering them to become their own best self-healers, and has been a pivotal part of both of us building thriving weightless practices. If this resonates with you and you would love to learn more about this trauma-informed, beyond the biochemical approach, be sure to check out our Wellness Code Holistic Healing, Wellness, and Life Optimization Practitioner Training Certification Program, which is a cohort program that runs 1 to 2 times a year. You can find info and links in the video information area, and be sure to sign up for our newest freebie offer. Once again, if you'd like to see more from us, be sure to like this video, drop a comment below, and subscribe to our channel. And that's a wrap for this week's video. I hope you found it valuable and inspiration in it for your own life. Thanks for watching, and cheers to your success.